necessarily at Nancy Pelosi in the House or John Conyers at the Judiciary Committee. The first place to go is to the intelligence committees.
Correct.
All right.
They need to hold classified hearings on this. And look, if you can impeach a president for lying about an act of fellatio with a consenting adult,
yeah.
I do not understand why you cannot impeach a vice president for his role in destroying a national security intelligence asset during a time of war.
Well, you know
that
what?
does not meet the threshold for impeachment. I don't know what does.
Yeah, I agree with you on its face. I look at the timing of it, and then I look at the supermajority needed in the Senate in order to convict, and that might just happen in the middle of a presidential election. And we all know that the Republicans are so not above politics that they could all band together, acquit Dick Cheney in the Senate. And then that happens in the middle of a presidential election, and we got 4 more years of Republican neocons. I think this is a gamble because most of the evidence would have to be taken in closed sessions in the intelligence committees. But here's what I offer. Since we all get perjury, and that Clinton, he wasn't tried for sex, he was tried for perjury, and he was acquitted for perjury, by the way, in the Senate. However, since people really have their brains wrapped around perjury now, and they all scream so often that perjury is, no man is above the law, and perjury is a big crime, and now we know obstruction is a bigger crime, wouldn't it be something if the Wilsons not only went through with their civil case, but that they got to depose Dick Cheney a la, Paula Jones did?
Right.
And you get the vice president finally under oath. He's going to perjure himself. That the American people will understand.
Right.
And we won't have to refer to closed intelligence hearings and what you don't know can hurt you kind of thing. You know what I mean? It'd be something everybody could get along with.
Well, that's the other nightmare hanging over this administration, and I surely hope that the Paula Jones precedent gives Joe and Valerie the right to proceed with this civil action, because if it does, it will be the end of Dick Cheney. I agree with you.
Well, I think that's the cleanest, easiest, most straightforward, without compromising any more people's lives, without putting anybody in harm's way ever, for one more. I mean, Brewster Jennings, I would hate to have one of their business cards in my pocket. I mean, I just can't even imagine the panic. You know how I relate it to ordinary people like me, how I make it real for myself? Because, I was a low-ranking person in the Air Force. So I relate it as, remember Darby, Specialist Darby at Abu Ghraib? And he got Grainer's memory stick. And when he saw what was on it, he went, oh, my God, this is horrible. And he was promised anonymity because what he was doing was turning in one of his brothers for doing something really outrageous. And Rumsfeld sits in an open hearing and thanks Darby for giving him the photographs while Darby is deployed on foreign soil, and he gets threatened by his brethren over there. How could you do this, man? How could you do this to us? And now he's not even welcome in his hometown. See, now, right, if they'll do that to Darby, they'll do it to anybody. And they did. Yeah, no, it's this administration is the most shameful. Yeah, I agree. Disgraceful. And they need to be held accountable. Plus, everybody hates Cheney, and he won't have the sympathy that Clinton did. Yeah, well, that's why I think it's incumbent upon the Democrats just to suck it up, do the right thing. All right. Well, I like that we worked this out. I mean, I knew if I analyzed with you, the king of the analysts, that we would be able to walk ourselves through it in a very meaningful way. So thank you for taking time. Go back to, your secret life. Yes, ma'am. Tell Southcom I said hi. I'll be home. Will do, dear. I'll be home soon. Thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you, man. Thank you, Larry Johnson. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for taking the time. Bye. He was good to do that. He really is doing something he can't tell me at Southcom. Could be saving the world. You just don't know. Bob Baer. Did you ever see Syriana? Bob Baer is actually in that movie. Not playing himself, though. Dreamy George Clooney plays Bob Baer, which is reason enough for me to become a CIA. If George Clooney would play me, I would do, I love George Clooney. I love Bob Baer. That movie, you have to watch it 6, 7 times. Seriously. Okay, me 2 times. But you, 6, 7 times. Okay. To understand how these relationships are built and how scary this whole thing is. saving the world is not for the faint of heart or for the slow of mind. So when I need to analyze, I reach out to the best. And Larry Johnson squarely fits in that category.